got to say this caveat: the internet isn't a real place. I know that the Diaspora Wars are, I think, a lot more pervasive in online spaces, whereas in real life, a lot of us, Black Americans, Africans, we get along well.
Yo, what's going on? You already know we're back with another episode of your favorite podcast, Afronomics. As you can see, there's no guest with us in the studio. It's going to be me and Sitta chopping it up, yapping, as we always do, about some interesting topics. I'm your host, Llewellyn. I already said your name. But
yes, it's Sitta. I think. No, you good. You good, brother. You good. I appreciate it.
You know, gotta get you know, a great man does not always need to be, you don't have to introduce yourself. Somebody else introduce you for you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
It's all family. It's all love. We appreciate each other. It's a real brotherhood.
There you go.
Show. And everybody in the studio with us right now that y'all can't see. This is family.
Everybody wearing all black too.
Yeah, it's a unit.
It's
one
a unit.
band, one sound. That's how we move. That's how we operate. Afronomics culture. All right, we got, of course, no guest today. We got an interesting topic we're going to get into. But before we get into that, we got to do some Wahala.
Wahala!
Yeah, so this one, I think, I don't know, it might be a little bit of a debate.
Uh-oh.
And
I'm scared.
I'm actually very interested to see how Llewellyn takes this, because he's very big on the singing, as y'all probably could tell from
I don't
the
sing.
show.
I don't even know what y'all talking about.
Whatever it is, whenever a song comes on and you start trying to harmonize, that's what I'm talking about. But anyway, the question for the day is, who got better vocals? Breezy or Usher?
Oh, Usher. Easy.
Really?
Usher. Easy.
You think so?
Easy.
You think so?
Absolutely. Usher.
I don't know about that one.
Chris Brown is Usher's mini-me.
Just because he's younger doesn't mean that.
No, he's just like Usher is Michael Jackson's mini-me.
Just because somebody's like that.
It's not about age. It's literally just because, like, Usher is amazing in his own right, but he's like Michael Jackson light, and Chris Brown is Usher light.
But better.
No.
Better vocals, yeah.
Vocals? No.
Yeah, I think so.
So a vocalist, Chris Brown can sing Chris Brown's music. Chris Brown can't sing. Chris Brown can't go sing Usher, not Usher. Chris Brown can't go sing Usher's music. Usher can sing Chris Brown's music.
You think that?
Absolutely.
I don't believe,
Chris Brown can't go sing Luther's
that.
music. Usher can sing Luther's music.
Chris
Brown can't sing Donny Hathaway's music.
You just saying
Usher
stuff
can sing Donny Hathaway's music.
You just saying stuff at this
I'm
point.
a trained vocalist. I know the difference. I'm a trained vocalist. Usher's vocal ability is unmatched. Usher can sing a cappella without any enhancements, no kind of stuff.
To me, Usher is more of a studio singer.
Usher can sing. Have you heard Usher on the stage by himself?
I haven't heard either one of them on the stage by himself.
Chris Brown on the stage I'm not saying Chris Brown can't sing. The brother can sing. He cool. But Usher's a vocalist. You can test. Usher has there's a song called "A Song for You" by Donny Hathaway. He made it famous.
You gonna sing it?
I can't.
Don't
mess around.
I knew it was
Don't
coming.
mess around. I'll do it.
I knew you wanted to.
I'll do it. But a song for you is a major test of a male vocalist. If a male vocalist can kill that song, you're good. Usher has a recording of it on the YouTube. Look it up. It's wonderful. The YouTube. Are you looking it up right now? You should. Absolutely. Usher's version of it is great. Chris doesn't have songs that are similar, but he does, like No Air. He sang the heck out of No Air. It's a wonderful song. I like a lot of his music. Vocally, nah, he can't do it. Not to Usher. Now, I would say he is in a class of his own. I don't think there is anybody out right now who I would say would rival against Chris Brown's vocals, except for Usher. I would give him that. He has his own lane. He's good, but not Usher. Also, you're talking to a diehard Usher fan.
You should have led with that.
You're talking to a diehard Usher fan. There's only 4 people who I would actually put effort into go seeing their concerts for real. Kendrick, Usher, Whitney, Michael.
2 of those, you don't have the option. R.I.P. We gotta pour some out.
R.I.P. But Kendrick and Usher, well, out of the four, Kendrick and Usher are the two people I would put
Is
effort into.
Kendrick your favorite rapper?
Yeah.
That's fair. A good choice.
Yeah.
That's a good
Favorite
choice.
rapper.
Yeah.
I listen to his music probably way more than I want to admit.
I mean, Kendrick he's one of those.
Yeah.
I think you can't. There's no shame in
I literally
putting him up there.
I put my grad school professor onto Kendrick. I wrote a paper about Kendrick in grad school, got 100% on it, and my professor started implementing Kendrick in his curriculum as a result of my paper.
At Emory.
Yeah.
Okay, look at you.
That
putting the white folks on.
No, well, my professor's black.
Damn, how he not?
He's an older black dude.
Oh,
yeah, older black,
okay,
like older as in like 70s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, damn. Yeah. Okay, all right. Well, we got that answer.
Who you think? You obviously Chris Brown.
Yeah.
But you have no taste, so it's okay.
Let's not. We started off so positive.
In general, who's your favorite? Who do you think is your favorite singer in general?
I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite singer.
Top 3 singers. Who you like? This is a voice, and you can't include the Mount Rushmore. You can't. Whitney's not included. Luther's not included. So those 2 people. There's others, but the others.
I can't. I mean, I really can't think of like who's my favorite singers.
See, y'all gotta diversify.
What? How does that mean I don't diversify?
Diversify, man.
What does that mean?
This is actually a good segue into our topic for today. Diaspora.
I'm saying, what do you mean I gotta diversify?
You gotta
because
diversify
I don't have a favorite?
tastes. Yeah.
What does that mean?
So is it okay? Let me ask you this: do you not have a favorite because you don't know enough people, or you don't have a favorite just because?
I know a lot of people. I just don't have a favorite.
Top 3.
I listen to a lot of different. Nobody really just stands out.
Really?
I'm trying to think of like who do I really listen to the most. I'll say I probably listen to a lot of Chris Brown.
Okay.
I'm really thinking through my like R&B playlist. I don't know if you would consider black R&B because he's like more of a mix of
I'm just talking about singers in general. It can be literally anybody from.
But I wouldn't necessarily. I wouldn't necessarily classify black as like a singer though. He's really a rapper.
You're talking about 6 Lack. Okay.
You want to go those people.
His name is 6 Lack.
Yeah, black. East Side, by the way. You gotta show that.
He makes good music. Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who else do I really be listening to like that. I don't know. I have to look at my little R&B playlist. I do right now though. I really do like Elmin.
Who?
Elmin, you know that brother can sing.
Who's that?
Sing. He's a black dude.
How you spell it?
Elmiene.
Elmi.
You'll like him. Brother can sing.
This African American? Or
yes.
He's actually a British American? Or British?
Yeah.
African
Check
British?
him out. You will not be disappointed.
Really?
Yes.
British and Sudanese. Oh, okay. Wonderful. He looks like he can sing. The way he's tearing up the microphone in this picture.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just looking at a profile pic. I'm like, how you?
If you're giving this much energy in the microphone picture, you better be doing something.
But check him out. I like him.
All right.
I like him right now.
I'll Pete.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. You put me on to somebody. Look at
yeah.
See, I can admit my weaknesses.
All right. Now we getting into today's episode. We done got through the Walla.
The topic for today is a little important to the culture because the topic for today is about what the whole podcast is really about.
Yeah, low key.
Low key. Diaspora Wars. First of all, do we know what Diaspora Wars are? Actually, it's actually very I think it's important, number one, to realize there are Diaspora Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if we don't know that we are inherently trained against each other, then we won't know that there's a problem that we need to actually work to solve. The Diaspora Wars do exist in that, we'll talk about what it is. So I'll give the definition I found on the Googles. So the working definition of diaspora wars, what I found on the Google, yes, I say the Google. I said it twice because it's important. Diaspora wars refers to conflicts often online between people of the African diaspora, particularly between Black Americans and continental Africans. These conflicts can manifest as debates about cultural authenticity, historical trauma, and who has the right to claim Black identity. The term is used to describe rising conflicts among diasporic groups that create negative impacts on communities, causing disunity.
Yeah.
Key aspects of diaspora wars: cross-cultural conflicts, online debates, identity and authenticity, historical trauma, that's important, and impact on unity.
Yeah. And this the reason this topic came up, we posted a video, a clip of one of our previous episodes recently on all platforms, and on TikTok went crazy with the comments. Like, yeah, I'm gonna read some of them, but to give you context of the clip, we interviewed a woman, Shanasa Ogbo Collins. She's Nigerian. She works in financial literacy. She lives in Nigeria. Part of the conversation was, the aid from like the U.S. as the Trump administration canceled, or they're winding down U.S. aid. A lot of that funding was in Africa, so her company is moving. They're losing some of that funding. So what they're saying is they're trying to capitalize more on the diaspora funding businesses in Africa, particularly their business, but other businesses in general, other nonprofits. And she was particularly talking about Africans in the diaspora. So like she's in Nigeria, so there are a lot of Nigerians in the diaspora, whether they're in the U.S., they're in the U.K. So she's talking about getting money from them because they already send money back in the form of remittances. They're sending money to their family. Africans in general send about 125 billion a year in remittances. She's talking about tapping into some of that funding for their projects instead of people sending directly. So that's what the clip was about. And she talked about the AU, the African Union sixth region, which is the diaspora. So African Union has 6 regions, 5 represent all of Africa, and then they got 6 regions to represent the diaspora. That's what we were talking about in the clip. The comments, for some reason, nobody really cared what she had to say. They were focused more on the fact that she was asking for money from the diaspora, and they took it and ran with it. And it was mostly Black Americans, particularly FBA, the Foundational Black Americans, were in the comments heavy, and they were saying a lot of negative
Can you
things.
define that term, Foundational Black Americans?
Foundational Black Americans is a particular organization. So, of course, the Black Americans that have been here since, the Black Americans or Black people were here prior to slavery. That is a fact. But a lot of people came in the transatlantic slave trade, and a lot of people have been here as a result. A lot of Africans are here as a result of the transatlantic slave trade. The Foundational Black Americans are essentially, their big thing is they don't associate with Africa. They're like, I've never been to Africa. We're not Africans. We are Black Americans. Our people have been here. We're not just descendants of slaves, or even if we are, we represent America, and they want nothing to do with Africa. That's essentially what the FBA organization. It's founded by a guy named Tariq Nasheed. I don't know if, Tariq Nasheed, who used to be, from what I heard, he was more like, he started off like Pan-African, creating content around that, and then at some point transitioned to more on the pushing the FBA narrative. But that's the organization. So here's some of the comments. These are from like FBA, Black Americans. Why with 4 Y's is literally everybody capitalized, obsessed with us. And we probably put these on the screen so you can see them. We are Americans, never been to Africa. You don't get paid off of people you never cared about to look for, but now want money for. Reparations are for our family in the U.S., not for countries who never chose to look for us. Sorry, it's too late now. They're always trying to scam someone out of some money. It's not happening with the FBA though.
Crazy.
There's a petition. Please go sign. They're always. Oh wait, I already said that one. Sounds like a scheme. People expect FBA to have no identity. We do, and we're stating it for the record. FBA with pride. We are not Nigerians. We are not Sri Lankans. We are not Venezuelan. We are not lost. We are FBA. We are owed by Africa. Um,
Wait, what? That last part.
yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
We are
there
owed by Africa?
there there was somebody in the comments that said talking about like y'all gonna stop playing with us, like we gonna fight back, and it's time to we gonna go to war if we have to, and like it was a lot of stuff, like
That's
it was
crazy.
insane.
That's crazy.
And I was so patient. I tried to be like, oh, maybe they misunderstood. So I went and I was responding to a lot of comments talking about some oh, I think maybe in the clip you might have misunderstood. She was talking about getting money from Africans abroad, not people in like Black Americans.
Yeah.
Like, and went and put that in a lot of comments. There were a couple people that were like, oh, I misunderstood, to their credit. But there was a lot of people that doubled down. It's like, nah, she just ain't want to say it, but they coming after Black American men. I'm like, I did the interview. I was there for the entire episode and the conversation. You saying taking a clip, saying things that she didn't say. I'm like, I'm didn't be like, nah, she trying to use coded language. Like, we're really arguing with me as if I didn't. Anyway, but yeah, that was a lot of the talking points, and I brought up certain things like y'all talking about all of this fighting back and going to war and people stealing your money, but you don't have the same energy from the people that are in your community. Like, you don't have the same energy for Europeans. You don't have the same energy for the Asians that own all the beauty parlors and the beauty supply stores and are actually racist to you and lock you out economically in your own community. You don't, but the Africans at the hair braiding salon, like, that's who you're gonna go after. The people that look like you, like, that's who you're gonna go after. And gotta say this caveat: the internet isn't a real place. I know that the diaspora wars are, I think, a lot more pervasive in online spaces, whereas in real life, a lot of us Black Americans, Africans, we get along well. We go to the cookout, we eat the soul food. They'll come to our events. They'll eat the jollof, they eat the fufu. So I know there's a lot of love in reality, but I think there is starting to be a little growth, at least in the online narrative in the past few months, of just kind of divisiveness. Where in reality, I think in the real world, we're actually coming closer together. So
I think in general, the whole idea of the diaspora wars and people having these far-fetched, crazy, just off-the-wall ideas is rooted in the same thing that is rooted in just misinformation, ignorance, and people just not wanting to really see the truth and accept the truth for what it is. For example, and I'm gonna use the how white people use segregation in this country. A lot of times with the poor white people, rich white people made poor white people, allow them to feel superior to poor Black people because they were white. When in reality, a lot of the systems and things that they put together were to keep everybody down and keep the rich and the poor poor, regardless of what color you were. But they used the poor white people as a means to keep oppression of Black people because they allowed them to feel superior because of their whiteness, not realizing they weren't going to benefit either way because the rich white people didn't care about the poor white people either. That being said, that level of brainwashing for them, and because they wanted to feel important or superior or whatever, have some sort of importance, it allowed them to keep Black people, to be used as a tool to keep Black people oppressed. And I think the same thing happens in our community as well, where we have Black folks who, in an effort to want to have some sort of identity that has been stolen away from them and figure stuff out, and then also try to overcorrect to go from being in a position of not having power and being segregated and everything else, trying to gain some power and feel good and superior about themselves, then they want to listen to something that just makes them feel that, gives them some power, makes them feel good. And so they listen to whatever is being told to them. Saying all that to say, I think, like I said, is the root of the diaspora wars is in ignorance. Like, there has to be people who are willing to see the truth, acknowledge what is actually there, and not let like BS get into their minds because of their own desire to feel superior or overcorrect what history has done in the culture. So, yeah, Black America, there were Black people that were here beforehand, but that doesn't mean that you have no ties to what's going on in Africa. Yes, there are a lot of scammers in Africa. There's also mad scammers right here in Atlanta as well.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody from Africa asks you for money, it's not they're not. It doesn't mean that they're trying to scam you. We have been conditioned to look at each other sideways and assume
and
that
distrust.
exactly that that's rooted in us wanting to us just not knowing the truth about one another and believing what somebody else has told us about the other side. And that's for me, if we're going to solve the problem of the diaspora wars, everybody has to be willing to actually listen to what the truth is. And put their own biases aside and even their own desires and be like, damn, okay, maybe I am part of the problem.
Yeah, I think that you got to have a level of humility when it comes to dealing with people, and that's in everything. I think whenever I very rarely ever think that conflicts are one-sided.
Yep.
I think there's always give and take. There's always going to be some wrong or something that you could have done better, no matter what side you're on. But and that ignorance that you mentioned, that's a result of purposeful miseducation. You know, it's like we're taught certain things so that we think a certain way about each other. Like, I know you growing up, you ever been called an African booty scratcher?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Times.
African booty scratcher.
I don't
That
even
was
know
like
what
a
that
thing.
is.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
Because
like,
now that I think about
it,
everybody scratches their booty.
yeah,
Everybody scratches their booty. Why?
you have to.
Yeah.
Why would you make it a purely African thing? Like, who came up with that term, African booty scratcher?
And now that I'm grown, I'm young me, I'm thinking about young me. Like, bro, why didn't you just ask them? Don't you scratch your booty too?
I mean, I'm as far as a comeback, I might not be with you on that.
No,
one.
but I mean, because it's the thing. Like, why'd that become a thing to begin with?
Yeah.
Even though I'm not gonna, I think I did see the origin of it, and I'm not gonna lie, it is fun. Like even Owawa, it's funny. I hate that it's
the click.
Yeah, I hate that it's funny because it's funny.
Let's go through all of the stereotypes while we at it. The clicks. Y'all live in huts.
My family said that people used to think they had tails and lived in trees.
That's wild.
My dad told me a story of how when he first got here, he took a chick home, and when he got undressed, she literally like looked behind him to see if he had a tail.
What was she gonna do?
And
if he had a tail?
My aunt told me the same story about how she wasn't with a guy or whatever, but she said she got here and some woman asked her like, "Oh, you're from Africa? Do you have a tail?" And these are my dad is my dad on my dad's side, my dad, and then my aunt is my mom's sister. So these are two different people, two different stories. Neither one knew that the other one had told me this story. And they both had a similar thing. And I'm like, dang, they was really teaching that Africans had tails out here and living in trees?
That's insane.
That is insane.
That's insane. Tails. I've never heheard that one.
And then even like this morning, I was watching a clip. Kid and Play?
Yeah.
With the high top?
Yeah.
So I didn't know that his mom is white, his pops is Jamaican. I learned that this morning. And he said that they were asking him about his parents' opinions about his hair. And he said, well, my mom was white, and she was dead at the time, so she didn't really have an opinion. But his dad, being a Jamaican, his dad's response was, you want to be a part of something along the lines of, you want to be so much a part of all that black stuff. And I was like, but
what are you?
Exactly, what are you?
Yeah.
And then when I realized the whole context, I was, oh, he married a white woman, had a light-skinned kid. He doesn't want to be a part of all the black stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's, again, diaspora wars. Like, why is it a bad thing to be a part of all the black stuff or even African? And this is a Jamaican man saying it in a strong Jamaican accent.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. I'm trying to think of the other stereotypes. Have you seen lion? You seen lions and zebras? I'm like, I ain't never seen no damn lion. Not in Africa. Like, you gotta actually go on a safari in like Kenya or something like that.
And also, if I did see a lion, I probably wouldn't be around to tell you the
Right.
story
Yeah, they
about it.
think everybody African just living. But anyway, I think it's a lot better now. People done kind of seen, but we got stereotypes on the other side too, because you got Africans thinking that Black Americans are lazy and don't work hard, don't understand the systemic situation. They don't
Oppression.
understand the history. They don't understand enough about the civil rights movement and the result of chattel slavery and Jim Crow laws and mass incarceration. So it's a lot of miseducation on both sides. They got people thinking the worst of each other.
And even with that, there's the idea, like I've heard Africans say, Black Americans are lazy. I came to this country with XYZ and look at what I've accomplished. And I'm like, you came to this country with nothing true, but you came to this country with a different mindset.
Yeah.
You came to this country with the mindset of equality and confidence and superiority that has been instilled in you because you grew up in a nation where everybody looks like you. And the fact that you were able to come here at some point in time means you did have, at some point, there was some level of privilege instilled in you where you were able to leave Africa and come here. The folks who are here literally are fighting generations of being told they're nothing.
Yeah.
Mentally, the shackles are still here mentally.
Well, it's not that's part of it, but even deeper, as you mentioned, like for Africans to come here, you're privileged. Like for us, like we're from Sierra Leone. My mom moved here in the 80s. And like, a lot of the Sierra Leoneans that grew up here, and that happens for like other African cultures. Like, the Africans here, you're doing well. The Nigerians are doing well. The Liberians, like a lot of people are doing well, but it's really, you're essentially the cream of the crop. You were like the top of the top. You were the elites in your country, and you're coming here and you're saying like, oh, look at us, we're all doing well. And you're essentially comparing the top 10, 20, 30% of the people from your nation with everybody that's Black American, whether they're elite, so it's like, it's not a fair comparison at all, because we're comparing the cream of the crop. Like, we're predisposed to being more successful as Africans in America, because you wouldn't be here if you didn't have privilege.
Exactly.
And then you're taking that and comparing it to all Black Americans, and it's not a fair comparison. And we got to be real as Africans and make sure that we call that out.
Yeah.
You got to call it out. So you can't just sit here and talk down on Black Americans, saying, oh, because there's a lot of Black Americans that are doing very well. So if you compare their top 10% or 20% to the Africans, like, they're probably doing better. So it's like, you can't even, but you don't want to have that conversation. So we got to be very real.
Yep.
And make sure it's apples to apples.
Yep. Hold on. I want to look at one of these.
Yeah.
Bullet
But
points here. Go ahead.
the biggest thing is we gotta know the world that we live in. And there's a saying, fish discover water last. So it's like, if you grew up and were born into this world where everything was being taught to gear towards divisiveness, if you don't acknowledge that that's the world we live in and see it, it's like you got to open up your third eye and know that the media is driving this narrative to push us apart. The education system is driving this narrative. The music, movies, film, TV, social media now, the algorithms, everything is being pushed to divide us, because the worst fear of other groups, particularly one group, the worst fear is for us to unite, because that's the only way that that was one of the biggest reasons that they were able to colonize Africa in the first place, because we saw each other as a whole. There's a whole bunch of different ethnic groups in Africa, and because we were the first people, we just saw each other as people. And that's how a lot of the world operated. It wasn't until the Europeans came and they were like, we're all the same and you guys are different. And they kind of played on us, thinking that, this is just another group of people, whereas they were united. They came with that fire of like, yeah, we gotta divide and conquer. And they used that against us, and we've been divided ever since.
And so my mom used to say, it's easy to destroy and very hard to build up. It takes no effort to destroy something, but she was usually referring to like trust and confidence or whatever.
Yeah.
It takes no effort to destroy something, but it takes forever to build up. And in the case of destroying us and destroying our unity, destroying our identity, and destroying even essentially the bridge between the transatlantic slave trade to now, the bridge between Black Americans or would-be Black Americans at the time and Africans, they were strategic about that. So they didn't just rip them away from their country. They were strategic about, they called it seasoning for the slaves, where they beat them into submission, did what they had to do to mess up their minds or whatever. They took effort to destroy the bridge and the connection. As one of our guests said, they took the drums away from them. They did all those things intentionally to destroy the connection, which means if the connection is going to be rebuilt for unity, it's going to take time and intention to do so. Like people will, will actually have to come together and say, here are the problems, here are our differences, here's what we've been told, here's what reality is. Let's get to the truth of it and the nitty gritty and figure out what's what. We've had, I think, 3 guests now who are Black American born and raised, who were intentional about finding out their DNA, connecting with whatever, I guess, the majority of their DNA said, and getting their citizenship for it. Who else? Some major celebrity just did the same thing. I think it was Sierra. I think it was Sierra just got Rwandan citizenship or something like that.
Oh,
because she did her DNA, her ancestry, and found out she's Rwandan, and she was granted citizenship.
It's happening. Like it's happening. We're uniting, which is why I think they're trying to push these diaspora wars. So I think it's another psyop, which is a psychological operation. I think that they're doing this because they see that we're starting to use.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if some of these are plants.
Some of the, I mean, you also got the dead internet theory, where it's fake bots, fake accounts that are stoking certain conversations.
Yeah.
They're creating fake views to allow things to go viral and trigger the algorithm. So you just gotta be very mindful. You just can't just be walking through life as if the world we live in is just the world. There are a lot of people that are trying, puppet masters that are sitting here trying to push us in different directions.
Yep. And just because somebody is talking loud and is confident and sounds like they know what they're talking about and whatever, it doesn't mean that
it's
they're
right.
right.
Yeah, that's
you gotta
Trump,
check.
the Trump energy.
You gotta check everybody. I don't care how strong that brother is, what he's saying. You better go back and fact check everything that he's saying. Like literally, I had one dude. It was weird, man. This one dude he tried to tell me he was a sect of the Hebrew Israelites or whatever. I'd never heard of this group before, but he tried to tell me that the King James Bible was the correct Bible because King James was black, and that's why that Bible is the correct Bible, a version of the Bible to listen to. I said, okay, brethren, let's have this conversation. You say you are against, white people because of the transatlantic slave trade and everything else. You do realize the King James of the Bible was also the King James who did the Bible was also the same King James who was in power during the transatlantic slave trade and allowed things to happen, right? So how would you be upset at white people if your black King James was doing it? And mind you, these people have a following just by simply not wanting to fact check something.
I don't know nothing about none of that. I don't know nothing.
It was really weird. Stuff that's like just low hanging fruit to go and fact check. People don't do.
But fact checking in itself can be a challenge because a lot of these resources, it depends. If you put it out, people will put alternative facts and rewrite history and whitewash. So I don't know. Maybe I would need to see where I wanted him to cite his sources before I say like anything about it. I want to see like, where did you find this? But going back to what you were saying about like breaking that connection, that's very important. My brother has a YouTube channel, Affirmation Digital. Go check it out. But one of his videos, it was very interesting. But long story short, there was something in the video talking about how they purposefully had to break slaves' identity or enslaved people's identity with Africa, because we don't. There's so much we don't know, and that's part of miseducation. I think a lot of these FBA folks would like it would be is clearly detrimental to try and break ties with Africa when Africa created civilization and the greatest civilizations that ever existed were in Africa. Like if you actually knew the history of everything that was created in Africa, if you knew really truly about the Malian Empire, if you knew about the Songhai Empire, if you knew about the power of the Zulu, if you knew about the Kemites, if you knew about, how the Moors, if you knew about all of this stuff, if you knew about like the Sudanese Empire, like if you knew about the Nubians, if you knew about all of this stuff, the Benin bronzes, and there was a structure in
Just keep
Benin
going down the
that
list. You making me happy. Just keep going. Just keep
there
going.
was a structure in
Just keep
Benin
going.
of walls that were like way longer than the Great Wall of China. The Europeans, when they went in and colonized, they destroyed a lot of this history, because if you destroy the history of a people, then it's like we didn't really do anything. These people weren't civilized. These civilizations didn't exist. So when you take over, it's like, what did we really do? If you take away their history, then
And please remember your thought, because I just want to say this piece because it's important too about taking away the history. The Library of Alexandria. I'm going to say this a million times because when I learned about the Library of Alexandria being destroyed and all the books being burned, it broke my heart for exactly the reason that you're talking about, because that is our history. Just go, listeners, viewers, go read about the history of the Library of Alexandria and all of our history that was lost simply because somebody wanted you and us to stay ignorant. Continue your thought, please.
yeah. The thing I was about to say next, like particularly with that made it when because Africans came here, they knew their history. Like if you knew you were from the Songhai Empire, you knew about everything that you guys had accomplished. You know how hard it is for somebody to be enslaved when they know
Where they come from?
yeah, like if you really know that history, you know how hard it is to get somebody to bow down, to get somebody to not respect their own people. You get somebody to work for you and not revolt when they know that. They had to destroy that connection. They had to wipe that history clean. That was a big part of why they took kids from families. It's like you can't be telling your children the history and passing that down through your lineage. So we have to take them somewhere else. So we had like, and another part with that, um, even when you took them somewhere else, like there's a big communal part of being African. If you took a enslaved person to a child to another plantation, they got adopted immediately and had a whole other
You're
family
not finna
because
be here
that's
with no
it.
family.
It's an African. We're very communal. So like we gotta get back to that. We can't operate in this individual mindset. We gotta know that we are really all in this together. We gotta really have that community mindset. And we got to know our history, the real history, not the whitewash history, not the history they taught you in school that just started with Africans being uncivilized. You got to know the real history.
Another piece of that, man, is a part of the Diaspora Wars is this idea of not just hating one another, but worshiping and loving whiteness and Eurocentricity as well. That got to change.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean like because this can also get overcorrected in the wrong way as well. I can easily see somebody starting to dislike or whatever light-skinned people just because, they're not purebred or whatever the case would be. But it's to not think of whiteness as the end-all for everything. Like, I love how, I forgot what country it was in Africa. For the longest time, they were still using those wigs in the court systems for stuff. In Parliament, and then so whoever the leader was decided we ain't doing that no more.
I think it's a few countries.
I want to say Burkina
Faso is one of them,
and
but I think a couple other countries.
And not even realizing the reason why the colonizers were doing that to begin with in their own countries, making them wear those wigs, was because they had lice.
Yeah.
They had lice. It had nothing to do with uniformity or looking proper. It was because they had lice in their hair and their real hair was eaten up. So they were wearing wigs to cover it up so they looked presentable. We can't get lice in our hair. That is quite literally, it's pointless for us. Lice can't live in our hair. So you're like literally adopting the practices of a culture that was, one, incredibly dirty to begin with, which is why they had lice. And then something that has nothing to do with you. That's like... Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the leftovers of colonialism Yeah, no, that and that's very key. I'm glad you said that because part of that self hate and us distrusting each other is like we gravitate towards other groups that have proven that they can't be trusted. They have actually done things, done a lot of harm to us, but we'll still say no to each other and gravitate towards them. So that got to stop. We got to stop putting them on a pedestal and worshiping everything they do. Even like in terms of like supporting our own brands. Like we so quick to go and buy European products and European goods and other stuff, and we'll shun our own products. We want to go shop at their stores. We want to buy their products, go to their restaurants.
If I put a bag here, if I put two bags here and I put an LV on one and I put, I don't know, name African random symbol. Actually, no, I'll put, what's his name?
Detail
Telfar
oh,
on
Telfar, yeah.
on another one. Unfortunately, the average African or black person will look at the LV and choose that one and value that one higher naturally. Just because it comes from Europe, it can be made the same way. But they're going to be like, oh, this is going to give me more clout. Nah, give Telfar the clout.
It's starting. I think
it's starting.
It's starting.
It really
shift,
is
and
starting.
I appreciate it. I love seeing the sisters out there. They got the Telfar bag.
And I was happy when I heard there was some Beyonce song or whatever, and she mentioned Telfar in the song. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, good job.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, but we definitely need more of that. We gotta and one thing we can't always associate. Yeah, there should be a lot of affordability in black products. We got to be able to have. We need to have a full range. Everything can't be cheap and low cost because we're economically disadvantaged or disenfranchised, and we can't always have like just straight luxury. We need to have a range of products
you
to
need
be
to have
able
a
to
mixture
shop.
of the rainbow. There's things that would be in rainbow.
Yeah, the black version
the things
of rainbow.
that would be in Macy's, and the things that would be in I don't know.
Phipps.
Yeah.
We need a range.
Exactly. We need a range.
And for designers and business owners of all kinds, you can make money at every level. Walmart is a multi-billion-dollar company selling cheap stuff. Lamborghini is a not as much, but they high end, super high end, very high end products. You can make money as a business owner and a designer, restaurateur in any range of product. You can make money, so we all need it, and I think we need to have that. So everything don't got to be cheap. So you can have luxury, you can have the super high end, you can be bougie, you can be sedity, you can be one of those and still shop black. You can that's what we need. You don't gotta go outside.
I think, like I said, for the Diaspora Wars to end or to have some sort of solution or get closer to a solution, honestly, there needs to be a roundtable discussion and intentionality about it from everybody, because we're all over the world. When I say everybody, I mean literally Americans, the ones in Great Britain, the ones in Italy, the blacks all over the place. Everybody have a conversation and put all the stereotypes on the table. This is what I've heard about you. This is what I've heard about you. This is how you think about me. This is how I think about you. This is how we think about white people. Why do we glorify XYZ versus I have, it always makes my skin crawl for some reason. Like when I go to like African events or whatever and I see them say, oh, we got to wear suit and tie. I love suits. I have nothing against suits, but that's European. My man, wear your own thing.
Yeah.
That Europeans not looking at your style and saying, oh, we're gonna wear this to a bit. This is our business meeting standard. Nah, you wear your own thing.
We need to start wearing that. I went to a gala this week and I wore a full Africana.
Yes. And because that is, as an African, that's what formal is for you.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you were flyer than anybody who had a tailored suit on in there because our stuff just looked better.
Well, it was a gala for this model summit thing that I did. So you had some people that was stepping. Okay. But I think I was still.
You was wearing African, so we're gonna give it clear. I'm joking.
I was still. It was clean though. I was but I like that idea of a roundtable discussion. Maybe not on the scale of everybody, but it would be nice if we could have a conversation where we brought Africans from the continent and Africans in diaspora, Black Americans, maybe even some Caribbeans as well, or UK, and then facilitate a conversation where we're talking to understand, where everybody has different opinions, but the goal is to reach a common ground,
Yep.
a common ground. So it'll be listening to understand and be empathetic and emotionally intelligent, rather than listening to speak,
Respond.
yeah, and to argue and to try and win. Because to me, you can't win a situation where you're going against somebody and y'all on the same team. If you're trying to win against somebody on your team, y'all both lose. Like y'all automatically
Exactly.
gonna
And we
lose. It's
get
like
back to
trying
where we
to
are now.
be in a relationship and you trying to win against your wife. It's like
It don't work.
you can't. Y'all on the same team. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So we gotta have that conversation. I think this platform is perfect for facilitating that
Such a
conversation.
conversation.
So if we have somebody, and I'm gonna look at the camera when I say this, if we have anybody that would like to be a part of the discussion in Atlanta, please go ahead and DM us. We're gonna put together a conversation and we're gonna facilitate. It's gonna be very respectful, but it's gonna be very insightful, and it's gonna be very telling of, why we don't get along in certain ways. And we can address issues in a very real way, in a very productive way.
And there might be some jollof involved in it too.
Yeah, we're gonna feed y'all. We're gonna feed y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Good food too.
Good food.
Salon jollof, the best.
Liberian jollof too. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Liberian jollof too.
But see, literally, you can't hate on anything Liberian because
I
you're
can't.
literally, that's half of you.
I can.
Okay,
I wasn't hating on it.
okay,
Did I
okay,
hate? I
okay.
said yes with a smile. Did you not see the smile? You must not have saw the smile. I said Liberian jollof with a smile.
Wow.
And a not ironic smile, not a sarcastic style, a genuine Liberian flag is in my bio.
Do y'all think the smile that he gave just now was genuine? If y'all think it was, wow, salesman. That's a salesman smile if I ever seen one. Not to be trusted. That looked like the school picture joint. You remember when the photographer would be like, tilt your head, you'd be feeling mad awkward by the poses.
The way kids smile in pictures.
Like, yo, why you look like that?
Like, who taught you to do this? It's me. I'm talking to myself. That sure as hell used to be me.
That's hilarious. All right, are we out of time?
Yeah, but
I think we out of time.
about wrapping up. But anyway, yeah. Black Americans, we love y'all as Africans. Africans, we love y'all as Black Americans. We play both sides, honestly. But we all family. In the club, we all fam. We got bigger fish to fry, so we gonna work together. We gonna shake hands. We gonna eat some jollof. We gonna eat some soul food. We gonna get down. We gonna dance to Afro beats. We gonna dance to R&B. We gonna dance to some 90s hip hop. We gonna dance to Lil Baby and Future and all that, and we gonna have a good time.
We are not each other's enemy. We have another enemy, but it's not us.
Yeah, family.
We family.
We stronger together.
You're. That being said, like, subscribe, tell 10 people, and then tell those 10 people to tell somebody else, and then follow us on all the platforms. We are now on Apple Music and Spotify and Carrier Pigeon. And
we're gonna launch our Patreon soon, so get ready to sign up.
All right, fam. Afronomics out. Stay up.